I am so tired, and yet I'm filming this. Hello everyone, it is currently 9:34 in the evening, and I'm sat here very tired after an entire day of doing what a normal university student does. It's already like Thursday evening and I haven't filmed or released any videos this week, and I really want to release at least a couple. I actually reapplied this lipstick because it was really annoying me. You can also see I've got this new kind of icy, hopefully this is what I call it, look going on. My fringe and some of the rest of my hair is this kind of greyish blue color. I've got this lilac nail polish going on and some purple highlight. I hope you like it. Anyway, today's main event is the Urban Decay Naked 1 palette. Or actually, it's just this dupe from W7. The Naked 1 palette from Urban Decay is £39.50p, which I cannot afford. It's not a palette that I'm super excited about. Those are, the colors in it are not really my colors. But I did hear rumors that this W7 Lightly Toasted Natural Nudes Eye Color palette is a great dupe for it. Now this is £9.95 or £9.50, something like that, as opposed to the £40 price tag on Urban Decay. Now Urban Decay is like a mid-high price range. These are quite good quality eyeshadows. I've played with them before. Most of them are just not in my kind of taste. The only Urban Decay palette that I have is the Moondust one, and I do love it. Now I don't really have a perfect way of comparing this W7 palette to the original one because I don't actually have it. So all I'm going to be able to do is kind of look it up on Google's and really just compare the swatches, compare the eye looks, and I'm going to Google a Naked 1, Urban Decay Naked 1 palette eye look and try to replicate that with this. So yeah, that's the plan for today's video. Without any further ado, my name is, I guess, new icy Queen Jakub, and you are watching my makeup channel. Okay, so this is what the palette looks like on the inside. It is a metal, very cheap encasing. The colors are, the shadows are kind of put in this very cheap foam that itself is sitting very, very loosely in this encasing. There is no mirror, and there is a mirror included with this in the Urban Decay palette. So I mean, you're obviously not really expecting great quality packaging when you're paying very little for something. So this comes with a nice double-sided packing brush, and the other side is one of those older kind of sponge applicators. The actual Urban Decay one comes with just a double-sided brush. So I mean, I could show you just a picture that of the actual Urban Decay palette that I found on Google, or you can just do it yourself and, you know, have some sort of an idea of what we're working here with. The colors are, I mean, pretty darn identical, I would say. They're quite similar. So I'm just looking at these swatches here, and I'm basically just gonna swatch this one, see how it swatches, and also see how it compares to the swatches on this picture. So first off, it's this very light matte shade that you would probably put all over the lid. It has the littlest amount of shine to it, and in the original palette, this is called Virgin. I'm gonna swatch it right here. And it is very, very sheer. You could probably try and build it. It's just barely visible. It is pretty more visible on this, but this could be a few reasons really. So next one up, we've got this kind of metallic shade. In the original, it is called Sin, and this is what it swatches like. It's quite nice. It kind of looks gold, and it looks more pinky, just nude champagne in the original one. Next one, we've got this dirty ground shade. It doesn't look too flattering. It's not very pigmented either. It looks like it could have a little bit more pigment, and it seems to have some fallout even on my skin. And this is supposed to correspond to Naked in the Naked 1 palette. This one doesn't swatch super nice either. If you see there, or if you just pull up the same picture, they don't seem to have a great deal of pigment in them. Fourth one down, we've got this cool metallic shimmery shade. Just gonna swatch it right here. And it's just this nondescript weird brown. Do you see why I don't like these kind of muted nothing colors? I mean, they don't seem like they could be flattering on anyone. In the original palette, this is called Sidecar. The next one in the original palette is Buck, and this one seems much darker and muddier. Buck seems to be much more, see it's right there, much more warm, almost like a muted orange. Whereas this, you see there's some fallout, this just looks, I would say, nearly like green. Yeah, it's quite weird. So next one, there's Half Baked, and it's just this golden color. I have a feeling this one will be quite nice in this, because golden is not so hard to do. Yeah, just a typical golden shade. I've seen better ones, really. Further on we have Smog, and it looks to be some sort of a coppery shimmer. I just moved the camera. This one, again, not too corresponding, I think. This one seems to be more deep gold, I think. I'm running out of room to swatch these, but yeah, there seems to be a trend that these are much more muted, the W7 one, and these are much warmer. But anyway, then we've got Dark Horse. This one seems quite corresponding, I guess. Rather similar to this one. It nearly looks black. It's very, very dark. I don't think it's that dark. Actually, no, okay, so it looks like, in here it looks like maybe a little bit chocolatey in the actual palette, but on the swatch it looks quite black itself, so fair enough. Then Toasted is next in the Naked palette. Now that's a discrepancy, because in this one we're looking at this, again, way, way, way too dark. Just right there. They don't have that much shine to them either. Then we've got Hustle in the original palette, and we are faced with this. Do you see a trend here? I mean, all of these, I'm actually having to check whether I'm not swatching the same color twice because they're so similar. Got all different stuff on this, but these three colors are nearly identical. They are the smallest kind of degrees in shade different from each other. There's a deep black called Creep. I don't think there's going to be a problem with that. I mean, black can be challenging to make, but I think a lot of, yeah, I mean, that's just deep black. And then the last one in the original is called Gunmetal, and it's this silvery gray with some blue undertones, shimmery color, and I think they nailed it quite well in this one. This is a really nice ashy color, very, very nice silvery, cool silvery, so this might go well with this if I actually decide to use it. I did want to try and literally just Google the Naked 1 palette by Urban Decay eye look and go with that, so that I'm actually using, you know, the recommended colors from the Urban Decay palette and their corresponding ones in the W7. So, I mean, I found this isn't an amazing eye look. I don't think I'll look very good in it, but it uses Creep and Gunmetal, which I kind of want to use on my eyes right now. So it uses Virgin, Naked, Buck, Creep, and Gunmetal. So it's quite self-explanatory, I think. The Virgin's going to be all over the eyelid, then it's going to be Naked for some transition shade, then Buck, then Creep, just to darken that outer corner, and then we're going to put Gunmetal all over the lid. So I'm going to zoom you in just for the initial couple shades so that you can see how they're applying, but then I'm just going to cut it all out because, I mean, it's an easy eye look. I'm going to just come back with my eyes done. Okay, so we're going to use the dupe for Virgin to just go all over the lid, and I'm going to use a fluffy flat brush. There is a lot of fallout, sure. I'm just going to see how that applies all over the lid. Oh wow, okay, I have to say this one in particular applied really well. I might just go over a little bit to cover everything. I am not expecting these colors to be extremely like pigmented. I mean, already can tell from my swatches that they aren't pigmented, so I'm gonna see if they are blendable. I mean, you can kind of forgive an eyeshadow one thing at a time, you know, it's either pigmented or it's buildable. If it's not either, then, you know, it's kind of a waste of your time. So I'm going to use the same brush and I'm going to go into the corresponding shade for Naked. And again, quite similar and rather pale, and I'm just going to again use the same brush, pack this on there and blend in. Okay, this is not bad. I think you've seen me enough using these. There doesn't seem to be a big issue with fallout or blendability or anything like that. So I'm just going to finish up the eyes and I'm going to tell you how that went. That was actually very quick and painless. I feel like all of the shades applied pretty easy. The gunmetal one did have some fallout, but that wasn't a big deal. I just kind of swept it away with a big brush. Everything applied pretty well. I just don't think that these are... I think they're fine, they're just not spectacular. I kind of expect a lot from eyeshadow. I want everything to be like amazing, and one of the problems I did have is this eye there, and I did just limit myself to this palette. The eye there that I showed you had some very, very light inner corner and also brow bone highlight, which I assumed that was the first shade, the Virgin, unless they used something else, so it must have been this color. But this one in this palette, and I don't know whether the Virgin one and the Naked one is better, but this one doesn't... I mean, you can kind of see it and you can see it there, but it's not spectacular. I did need to apply them thoroughly, and I went over and I dipped in like about 3 or 4 times for each shade, especially the gunmetal one, to go all over the lid because I needed it to be opaque. It wasn't super opaque, but at the same time it did the job. So I'm gonna zoom this in a little bit just so you can see what we are working here with. And honestly, I quite like this icy, like silvery metal look, especially with my hair. I think it goes really well, and it is quite a dark look. Here, I'm zoomed out again, but I think it actually works. I quite like it. So yeah, I mean, ultimately I think I was going to give this a negative review, but I'm not going to. This is £10, so I think there are better quality eyeshadows for that price, but I don't know that there is a better dupe of the Naked One palette at this price. Technically, I did just save £30 and I came up with basically the same look. And so if, you know, the Naked One palette is something that you really want and it is too expensive and out of your budget, I would say just buy this. It is pretty cheap. If you are not the fan of the colors and you want to buy this palette just because it's amazing, I don't think you should. I think they are better palettes with different colors, of course, different palettes for £10, like some Revlon ones, or even like, I mean, this palette that I reviewed in my other video. I mean, for $288, this was about 30 times better than the W7 one. But of course, these are just shimmers and you're not going to be able to come up with an entire eye look. But all in all, is this a good Urban Decay Naked One palette dupe? Considering the price, I think it is. And I will see you hopefully in some other video that I come up with this week, because I'm not sure that I will, but I really want to, so let's stay hoping. Bye!